live. Shalom. We apologize for the technical difficulties. Hopefully we're good for the rest of class. So I'm not going to go through the announcements. I'm going to go right into this class. And the title of this class is Youthful, Self-Anointed. And I want to go in and talk about teachers and what type of teachers. First of all, let me ask this question. Who's here to teach? What brother is here to teach the nation? Okay. What sister is here to teach? Because sisters can teach too, right? Right. So who's here to teach in whatever office they're appointed? Who's here to do that? Everyone raise their hand. For y'all online, everyone raise their hand, right? Everybody online, you can raise your hand too. Who's here to teach? Who's here to, what brother online is, go ahead and, heart emoji though, don't use a little pasty emoji, right? I want to know because the thing is, what are we here for, right? The scriptures say that we're here to bring forth fruit. We were here to teach the word. So I want to know who is in that mind even before I go into this class. It's important because if you're in that mind, and then Barakatah Yahweh, that's good, right? That's the mind that we should be in, to teach the nation, to build the nation. Now, if you're in that mind, what's the next question? Well, the next question is, how do you do it? How do you become a teacher? Right? How do you position yourself to be the best teacher that you can be? And the good thing is, the one thing about YouTube, the one thing about the internet, the one thing about all these different schools and air quote elders and chiefs and high priestesses, the one thing that you can see is, the one good thing about the internet is that it puts on full display who has done things the right way. What do I mean by that? Well, go to 1 Corinthians, the 8th chapter. Let's start there and let's get into it. I know we started late, so I'm going to try to end at 9:30. I'm going to try to end at 9:30. That way we're not here all night. But go to 1 Corinthians. And the first point, you can put the first point, we all know something, right? Everyone knows something about something. So we all know something. So read 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 1, my bro.
1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 1.
Right.
Now as touching things offered unto idols,
right,
we know that we all have knowledge.
Yeah, we all, just as people, as man, we're all knowledgeable in something, right? We all got something to offer in some arena. We all have experiences that we can tap into. We all have experiences that we've been through in life. We all have these life experiences that they're there to be offered as learning tools for others, right? We all got knowledge. We all got knowledge. We all have the ability, or we all possess the ability to know how to do certain things. Go ahead.
Knowledge puffeth up.
But what?
Knowledge puffeth up.
See, but knowledge is going to puff up certain individuals. Knowledge is going to puff up certain men because a little bit of pride, right? Think about when you know something and you know that you know, how do you feel? You said what?
Can't tell me nothing.
Yeah, no, see, you just said it. Nobody could tell me nothing. Right? I know Christ is black. So nobody could tell me nothing. Like you go to your family, like Christ is black. And you start ripping into them about everything. And they're like, what the hell? We didn't ask you all that. Right? You start going in. Because you know that Christ is black. But see, that's an issue. That's one of the issues that we're going to talk about. Because Christ is black is not the pass for you to be able to break down the entire Bible. Christ being black ain't the leeway for you to know everything. But what tends to happen, you get puffed up because you do know that Christ is black. So now, as the title alludes, you anoint yourself with all the wisdom, all the knowledge. And that's a problem. The ones that are being puffed up, there's certain things that they didn't do to allow themselves not to be puffed up. Right? So go from there. Read that one more time.
1 Corinthians 8, verse 1.
Right?
Now as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge.
Right, we all got knowledge. We all got something to say. We all got something to add. Right? Go figure. Israel always got something to add in. And you should do it this way. You should do it that way. If it was me, I would. But if it was me, I would. Right? Hold where you at. Go from there. Go to 1 Corinthians. Go to 1 Corinthians 14:26. What's going on? 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 26.
1 Corinthians 14, verse 26.
Right?
How is it then, brethren, when ye come together,
Right?
every one of you hath a song?
Yeah, you see, everybody got something to sing about, dance about. Got a song. Go ahead.
Hath a doctrine?
Have a what?
Hath a doctrine?
Go ahead.
Hath a tongue?
Have a what?
Hath a tongue?
Man, we've experienced this all, right? You be sitting in class, brother pop in, all of a sudden he starts speaking a different Hebrew. You're like, wait a minute, where'd that from? He start mixing old Hebrew with new Hebrew. Like, whoa, what's that, Spanglish? Or he come with a doctrine, right? Like, damn, we ain't never heard that before. We've heard it before, right? Everybody has something to offer. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, but as we're going to go through the class, we're going to see that there's a way that when it's that teaching and you administering the word, there's a way that it needs to happen. Something very critical has to happen first. Go ahead.
Hath a revelation? Hath an interpretation?
Everybody's interpretation is different. Everybody's revelations breakdowns is different. Everybody's understanding when it comes to everything is always different. Right? Everybody got a little notch in their mind where it's like, I see it this way. I see it that way. Especially dealing with Israel, man. Everything's a debate. Everything's a cut. Everything's I got the wisdom, I got the knowledge, I'm better than you. Everything is it's almost like the way for me to rise up is to suppress everyone else with my crazy amount of knowledge, my crazy doctrine. Come on, look at the cat that just got arrested. Now he's not an Israelite, but this dude named Nature Boy. How do I say this without? He's the guy that after he has intercourse with his wife, he says that he lets his son play with his genitals right after. He's like, he don't see nothing wrong with it. It's all good. Right? I'm like, huh? That's what he's on. But then now he's in jail because of kidnapping charges. Right? They call him a cult leader. And he got people out in the woods going crazy, stealing people's PPP loans. All this weird doctrine, right? But then you see all the weirdness behind it for that doctrine to even be a thing. Now the woman that he said he forced her allegedly to marry him. Now she's coming out and basically just unraveling She pulled one thread and the whole thing is unraveling. But back in the day, 4 or 5 years ago, 8 years ago, when I was watching this dude on Facebook saying this stuff, I'm like, that's some weird doctrine. That is some off stuff. He says that he's Yahweh Shai, he's the second coming of Christ. But then he wears an ankh and talks about the chakras. I'm like, Negro, you confused. So he's a Kemet Christian, right? A whole nother doctrine. But who do you learn that from? Who do you learn that from? Because he's the first of his breed. He's the first Kemet Christian I've seen. He's the first cat I've seen talk about chakras and reference Christ. Because the cats that are into chakras don't believe in Jesus. They don't believe in Yahweh Shai, right? So where do you get that from is the key. But what I'm trying to show y'all is that anyone can come with some strange doctrine. Anyone can come with a belief. Any man, right, can prop himself up and say, look, this is what to follow. But because I come up with something strange and weird, does that qualify me to be a teacher?
No.
Well, there's a lot of men that, on the contrary, they do that, right? On what y'all are saying, no, there's a lot of men that's like, hell yeah, I know something. I know something, I'm going to get this out to the masses because y'all ain't on this. So go from there. Go to 1 Timothy 3 and verse 2. So you can write the next point. Are you apt to teach what you know? Are you apt to teach what you know? Because one of the detrimental and highlighted qualities of a bishop is that what? Let's read it.
1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2. A bishop then must be blameless.
Right.
The husband of one wife.
Go ahead.
Vigilant.
Right.
Sober.
Read.
Of good behavior.
Go ahead.
Given to hospitality.
Right.
Apt to teach.
Right. Apt to teach. So let's look into this word. But a bishop, a leader, a man of a household, right? He has to be apt to teach. Now, if that bishop has a wife, guess what? Shouldn't she be apt to teach? Yeah. She's not going to be teaching him, but we know the hierarchy, right? God, Christ, man, woman, child. So who does the woman teach? Her children, right? Through sitting down and literally teaching them through example. The same thing with the man. How does he teach? Through example, sitting brothers and sisters down and saying, look, and going through it, right? But apt to teach, meaning what? Well, let's look it up. Somebody look up the word apt, A-P-T. Apt to teach. Because a lot of people, just because they know Christ is black, they feel like, oh, I'm ready now. I'm ready now. I got Revelations 1:14, right? Barely got it, but I got it, right? I got the precept, Genesis 49 and 12. So I rubbed two precepts together, and voila, right? I'm a high priest. You rub Jeremiah 14:2 together with Isaiah 51, and all of a sudden, you're qualified to run a whole school, right? You can deal with all problems because Christ is black. So that means you're qualified to deal with people on alcohol, on drugs. You're qualified to deal with marital issues, right? You're qualified to deal with children. All these things because why? Christ is black, huh? Right? Revelation 1:14. Job 30 and 30. Psalms of Solomon 1 and 5. Acts 14 and 2. Like, you got all the black scriptures. So now you're qualified. And what we're going to see is that that's not the qualification. What you got for apt?
Apt. Fit.
Fit,
Suitable.
What makes you suitable? Don't you have to be suited for that occasion? For something to be suitable doesn't have to be a match. Right? What makes your shirt suitable to wear? Because it's your size. It fits. Not because it's a shirt, but because it fits. Right? Go ahead, what else you got?
Inclined.
Inclined, right? What allows you to be inclined to something? What else?
Disposed.
What else?
Ready.
Right?
Quick. Qualified.
Qualified, right? Use of mental powers. Woo. Use of mental powers meaning what? Well, some think that what? Because they are ready to teach in their mind, that they can just do it. But have they used their mental powers of discernment and discretion? The mental powers of exercising your senses, have those been worked out? The mental power of discipline. What else you got? Y'all got the point on that, right? So the question is not are you ready? Not the question is not do you have all the scriptures? What's the real question? Not do you want to teach? Because we got past that, right? Now do you want to do it, brothers, sisters? What's the real question? What?
Are you experienced to teach?
Are you experienced? What else? Derek.
Are you walking?
Are you walking it? I like that. What else?
Are you prepared?
Are you prepared, right? What I'm going to get back to you. You had your hand up? What? Are you apt, right? Are you qualified? But so then if that's the question, then what's the real question? What would be the next question? What?
Are you willing to learn?
So the question is, and you're close, what makes one apt to teach? How do you become qualified? How do you become qualified? Because you got people out there that are teaching for what?
Gain.
What kind of gain?
Recognition.
Mm-hmm.
Financial. Just
Vainglory, filthy lucre, just to be seen, just to be heard, just to get their voice out. You got some people out there teaching to throw people off. They're teaching purposefully to confuse you. And throwing things out there in the atmosphere, knowing that the weak minds are going to grab onto this. The weak minds are going to grab on, the ones that are tossed to and fro in every wind of doctrine. They're going to grab on. They're going to grab onto this doctrine. Why? Itching ears. We're going to go into it. So, first and foremost, go to Galatians 4:1. Because the real question is what makes you apt? What makes you qualified? What makes you suitable? What makes you fit? What inclines you? Right? What gives you the use of mental powers? I'm just going back to the definition. Now, there's one that we skip. A pupil apt to learn. What makes one a pupil? Right? We talked about I think the other day in class we talked about disciples and apostles. Right? And the difference between a disciple and an apostle. One was a leader, one was a follower. One was a teacher and one was a learner. A disciple was someone that was there to learn. So, I want you to go to Galatians chapter 4, verse 1.
The book of Galatians, chapter 4, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child,
Right?
differeth nothing from a servant.
Think about an heir to the throne on the right side and a servant on the left. The scriptures say that They're the same. They're the same. Why? Why are they the same? They're the same until when? Why? What?
Until they bow their ear down to this word.
Well, they're both down there. But one's a servant and one's going to be the heir to the throne. What makes him the heir? Is it just because he got the title?
Law.
Well, let's read on. Watch. Read on.
Though he be Lord of
All
all,
right. It says they differ in nothing, though the heir be Lord of all. He can order that servant around. But in actuality, they don't differ in anything really, except for title. Go ahead.
but is under tutors and
So
governors.
this is what the first step in not being puffed up in knowledge is being under tutors and governors. Why? Because those tutors and governors are going to be able to deflate that big ass head of yours. They're going to keep you grounded. They're going to bring you, when you start getting lofty and you start floating away, they go, hey, come on. No, let's bring you back down. Let's counsel. Let's go through it. Right? Look, see, here goes the 18 precepts that you forgot. Here goes the balance. Here goes the understanding. Here goes the books. Here goes this. Here goes that. Right? To be able to burst that bubble and keep you rooted and keep you grounded. But see, that knowledge is puffing a lot of brothers and sisters up because there's no one there to tutor them. There's no one there to govern their minds. Go ahead.
Until the time appointed of the Father.
Yeah, the heir can't take over the kingdom until when?
Until the time appointed of the Father.
No, when he wants to.
The time appointed of the Father.
Yeah, and that's the issue. That there's this lust to be able to take the reins and just spew things out of one's mouth. Right? There's this lust to just, I got something to say. Well, remember, we all got something to say. But it's what you have to say. Whoever's on the thing, who's on the YouTube? I hear it.
It's in the
Oh, okay. I don't like the sound of my own voice. Is what you have to say. Are you qualified to say, first of all? Have you mentally discerned when what you put out there, who is it going to affect? How is it going to affect? Who is it going to throw off? Who is it going to build up? Who is it going to tear down? Every class that's put together, everything that's put out on chats, there's always careful consideration of what is this going to do for the user? What is this going to do? Negative, positive? What is it going to invoke? What type of spirit? Even this class put it together. What is it supposed to invoke? Well, for one, it's supposed to knock down that pride that's in some brothers that think they know, but they don't really know yet. Why? Because they haven't put themselves under the tutors and the governors long enough. You can see it. You can see it in households. You can see it in method households. The results of things. They haven't allowed themselves to be tutored and governed to the point where they can be set free to order things the way it needs to be ordered. Where you at?
Verse 3.
No, go to Hebrews 5. I want you to go to Hebrews 5 and 4.
Hebrews chapter 5 and verse 4.
Make sure they all got it. So remember, I said it right. What makes you apt or qualified to teach? That was the point that we're on. Right? So let's go to Hebrews 5 and verse 4. Read that.
Hebrews chapter 5 and verse 4.
Right?
And no man taketh his honor unto himself,
Right?
but he that is called of God.
Right. You see that? So the heir can't take the honor on himself. Well, because I'm 12, I'm the king, or because of whatever circumstance I should be king, because I know something, because my daddy told me. No, it says no man take this honor. And when you read the first chapter, the first verse, what is it talking about? The high priest, right? The high priest being pulled from amongst the people, an anointed high priest to be able to offer sacrifice. But what it's saying is, the high priest, did Aaron anoint himself?
No.
Did Moses anoint himself? Right? Eli, Samuel, none of these men were self-anointed. Samuel had to do what with Eli? What?
He had to be tutored. He had to be under him.
He had to be He had to be tutored and governed by Eli. Elisha and Elijah, Yahushua and the 12. Right? We go through it all the time. Damn, Baruch and Jeremiah. Right? We leave that out sometimes. But one man is allowing himself to be tutored and governed. Tutoring just means to be taught. And govern, what are you governing? Well, the different emotions and the different methods and the different way men perceive things. That has to be governed in a young man. I gotta govern my son in every aspect of his life. I gotta be the governor over him to make sure that thing, you clean your room? Yeah, well, you know what? Let me go check. Nope, you didn't do that. Nope, you didn't do did you vacuum? Nope, you didn't. Oh, you vacuumed and did everything? Did you put the vacuum on? Oh, damn, I forgot. Gotta govern every piece of it. Because why? As a pupil, as one whose senses haven't been exercised, he's gonna miss out on certain things. So imagine if my son, 8 years old, got a wild hair up his rectum and decided, you know what, I'm the man of the house, nigga. Get out of here, I'm the man of the house. What would happen to the house? We'd all starve, right? Or we just eat tacos and cheese all day, right? It'd just be freelance. Video games on everything, right? There wouldn't be no order or discipline. It'd just be chaos in the house. But what does he have to learn as a young man? What do the children have to learn as being under tutors and governors? What are they picking up? Well, they're under the tutelage of their parents on how to order the house, on how to structure, on how to clean, on how to cook, right? Why? So that when they get it, they know how to do these things. But leave them to themselves. Leave them to themselves. They'll take a whole bottle of cooking oil and just pour it down the sink. And be like, what? I didn't know. Yeah. That's why you need tutors and governors. What side you put it in? The disposal side? Oh, okay, cool. So there goes the disposal. There goes the pipes. Right? Well, I didn't know. Well, that's the point. That's the point. A person that's learning does not know. So how can you administer what you don't know is the point. How can you be apt to teach if you don't know what to teach and how and what to put out there? Read on.
As was Aaron,
Right?
so also Christ.
Read it from the top.
And no man taketh his honor unto himself, but he that is called of God.
Right? Like you can't walk into a doctor's office and be like, nigga, I'm the doctor now. Right? Like, nah, bro. Give me the coat. Give me the stethoscope. And you got your own little badge. Dr. Benaiah. Right? You can't just walk in and be like, look, I'm the cop. I'm the firefighter. No, you got to sit back and go to school for 8 years, 10 years, 20 years. I don't know how long. College, grad school, undergrad, medical, intern, extern. You got to do all these things just to be a doctor. And that's just in one field of being a doctor, right? Then there's a whole other school for brain surgery. Then there's a whole other school for the specialties, right? But you can't just walk in and be like, yo, I'm a brain surgeon. What up? I'm ready. Where's the saw? Where's the bone saw and the drill? Nobody does that, right? Well, why do Israelites do that? Why would it? Why? Right? You watch one Doogie Howser MD or one House episode, and now you can cure all things? Hell nah. But why do we do that when it comes to the word? We all of a sudden, what's that, Samukai?
No, I was going to say, that's what imposters do.
That's what imposters do. That's what the undisciplined and the self-anointed, the ones that are chasing this youthful lust of, I'm a teacher. I sound smart. Look at me. I was whack in high school. I was garbage in life, but now I got the Bible, so now I got to be heard. I'm something. The Bible says wisdom lift up the head of him that is of low degree, not knowledge. Knowledge puff you up. Wisdom will literally lift you, but not so far up to where now nobody can't talk to you. You're the comforter. You're the voice of God. You're all these different things. Go ahead, read on.
As was Aaron,
Right?
so also Christ glorified not himself to be made an high priest.
Yeah, Yahushua didn't take the honor on himself, and he had the power to. But he had to wait his turn and do what? Read on.
But he that said unto him,
Who said unto him? Was it not the Father? Was it not the Most High? Go ahead.
Thou art my son.
Read.
Today have I begotten thee.
But nobody ain't waiting for this. Nobody's waiting for someone to say, you know what? You're ready. You know what? You possess, your moral compass is intact. You're not a drunkard, you're not a striker, you're not a brawler, you're not a hateful person, you're not a thief, you're not covetous. Right? No one's sitting around letting themselves be evaluated that way. Not in this day and age. In this day and age, it's microwave. I'm a popcorn Israelite. Because, again, I know I can rub together Hosea 4 and 4 and 6 with a little Deuteronomy 28, and all of a sudden I'm in there. I can solve the world's problems. Go ahead.
As he said also in another place,
Right?
thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek,
Go ahead.
who in the days of his flesh, when he offered up prayers and supplications with strong crying,
Go ahead.
and tears unto him that was able to save him from death,
Somebody else get me 2 Timothy 2 and verse 2. Go ahead, read on.
and was heard in that he feared,
Read.
though he were a son.
Though he was a son, though he's the heir, though we're all brothers and sisters, go ahead.
Yet learned he obedience.
That he learned what?
Obedience.
That mental use that use of mental powers to be obedient, apt to teach, obedient in what you're teaching, obedient into allowing yourself to be taught first. This is what a lot of brothers and sisters are missing. You're not sitting back and allowing yourself to be taught and shown the right ways and different ways to do things. Go ahead.
By the things which he suffered.
Because nobody wants to go through any type of chastisement. Nobody wants to go through any suffering or no type of discipline. 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 2. You're going to jump back. You're going to jump back to 12. Go ahead.
2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2.
What's that?
I was gonna say, like everything that you're bringing out, when you look at it, when it says, when you go back and when it says the servant deferred nothing from the heir, right? When you think about it, when it's the servant deferred nothing from the heir, what makes a servant gain authority? What is scripture? What scripture? What makes a servant gain authority?
If he strives lawfully?
Strives lawfully, but there's another scripture. We always talk about it. The slothful shall be under tribute, right?
Oh, right.
But the diligent shall bear rule.
Wow.
So what is it that the heir and the servant, they're both learning how to be diligent, right? So when you look at what he's bringing out, and he said it, and it just hit my mind. He talked about discipline, right? For us, like, we have to learn we have to be taught, but we have to be diligent in discipline. So when I say diligent in discipline, I mean, like, you gotta be diligent and, like, actually wanting to ask questions and learn, and actually diligent in applying the things that you are being told. Because I always say, you can sit here and read the book all day, but if you're not diligent in applying what you're being told or what you're being read, then what are you learning? You see what I'm saying? You're just gaining a lot of knowledge, but you're not going to gain the wisdom side to it. So what he's saying is very potent. So, like, what helps when we get to that level? Well, what helps the servant to get to where he can bear rule, and what makes the heir get to that level where he can rule? Because in Hebrews 5:1 that he went to, it showed that the Most High is the one that calls you. You understood this in evidence until the Most High calls you. So how do you get called? Well, you got to be diligent in the things that you're being shown. Everything is being given to you. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You got the counselor, you got the teacher, you got the book to read, you got everything that's being given. But we got to be diligent to actually want to hear and actually want to apply what it is that we're being told. So, yeah.
2 Timothy 2 and verse 2. That's on point.
And diligent on this too.
2 Timothy 2 and verse 2.
2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2.
Uh-huh.
And the things that thou hast heard of me
Right.
among many witnesses,
Go ahead.
the same commit thou to faithful men.
To who?
To faithful men.
But how do you become faithful? What do you first got to do? Well, you first got to be obedient. You got to be obedient to what? What is a teacher? First and foremost, a teacher is an example, right? Right? You're gonna look at him and you're gonna pick up on his social cues and the different things about him without him even really opening his mouth, right? But then he's gonna sit down and teach you. So I use me for an example. Y'all watch me, right? Brothers watch. Y'all watch the way I do things, but then I sit here and I teach you also, right? So you get two ways to learn. Now, how good of a teacher would I be if, let's say we went out, hey brothers, let's go to Bar Louie, right? That's our spot. We go to Bar Louie, watch the game, and have a beer or two. Hey, Akim, let's go to Bar Louie, brothers getting together, da-da-da-da. Now I'm in Bar Louie, and first of all, before I get there, I'm already faded because I pregame. Right? Hit the whole bottle of Henny by myself. So I pregame, and then we get there, I smack the waiter on her butt, pow! Right? Smack her on her ass, right? Talking vulgar, talking crazy. Drink a whole lot more, and then get into a fight. What would y'all, but then I sit here and be like, see, 1 Timothy 3, y'all are all off, and right? Because y'all don't fight, right? What would y'all think? Be honest. Hypocrite. What else?
You don't walk the walk.
Don't walk the walk. How would you feel about being around?
I would say you don't even believe what you teach.
Right. I don't believe what I teach, but how? I want y'all to be honest. How would you feel about being around? You won't, right? You wouldn't be around, right? But what is it showing about? What would that show about my character? That what? I wasn't faithful in the things that I was taught, right? Because I wasn't walking around, let's go to Bar Louie, smacking chicks and getting faded and doing. I never seen him do that, right? Zion ain't doing that, right? So obviously you would see that there was a breach with me in my learning, that I didn't allow myself to pick up on the things that I was supposed to eradicate from me, right? Remember, every high priest is taken from among men. Why are they taken? So what does that mean? That every man that sits on this podium, before he got up here, what did he have?
Teacher?
No. Yes, but what? What was he dealing with? What?
He was dealing with the worldly issues.
Done. He was dealing with the issues. But before he was supposed to be put up here, what was supposed to be happening? under those tutors and governors. What was supposed to be happening? What?
All those things were supposed to be getting worked out of him.
Right, you were supposed to be purging those things out. That's the discipline. But guess what? I don't want to get those things purged because it hurts. The discipline hurts. I don't want to be a disciple no more because it hurts. Does it really hurt? Or does it hurt that pride?
Yeah, your pride.
It's the pride. Ain't nobody beating you. Ain't nobody pulling out whips. Ain't nobody going toe to toe, trying to put you to sleep, trying to go night night. Nobody's doing that, right? It's, hey, let's get in line. Let's do things this way. There's a reason why we do it this way. There's a reason why we can't do it that way. But there's no physical altercation to get brothers and sisters in line, right? Ain't no. As far as I know, ain't no sister getting uppercutted through the windows to be a wife. Your husband ain't beating you into wife duties, right? Take care of the kids. Elbow, knee, jab, jab, uppercut. You ain't gonna be a good trainer of the kids. You ain't gonna be there to take care of the kids if that's happening. So you're not getting physically tortured or beat or disciplined to be a teacher of the children. Brothers ain't getting physically assaulted to be men of standard and character. Those things are being worked out through class, through all the different things that are set up, all the order, because everything we do is about order and structure. That's why everything we do, there's always what? Officer and a younger brother, as much as we can. Why? Because an officer is supposed to be the standard of how that particular thing should be done in the moment. But if I don't want to be up under that officer, or if I think that my knowledge surpasses the officer, then what's going to happen? I'm going to miss out on the learning that I was supposed to bring in. That way, when it's time for me to teach, I'm not spewing out garbage ass examples. I'm not doing the things that I was doing back 10 years ago. The discipline, the fetters, the chains, nobody wants that. It's hard. I get it. Sisters, y'all run too. The kids, I give them a pass. You know why? Because they kids, they gonna run. They gonna run from it. But sisters should understand the benefit of it too. And what am I saying? You're running from your husband? No. But some of y'all run from the sisters that's gonna give y'all what y'all need. Y'all run from the experience because you don't want to be shown that you're wrong. There's nothing wrong with not being right. You know that, right? There's nothing wrong with being wrong. There's nothing wrong with being shown a better way. But your ego and your pride got to accept it. Right? So where we at? Read 2 Timothy 2:2. And if somebody look up the word disciple, read it.
2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2.
Right?
And the things that thou hast heard of me
Read.
among many witnesses,
Right?
the same commit thou to faithful men.
Right. The only way you can commit it to a faithful man is, first of all, he got to be disciplined enough to sit there and hear. This is the way to do it. This is the way not to do it. This is what you're doing. Change that. Fix that. Keep that. That's what makes a man or a woman faithful. That through all the correction, through all the constructive criticisms, and through all the teaching moments, they're there, not taking it personal, not getting upset, not getting mad, not, oh, he don't like me, but really understanding, wait a minute, this is about me building up and being a teacher and not teaching the things that I came into truth with. See, that's a lot of what you see on the internet. When you got cats online teaching class and they got the red cup. Now, sometimes we have red cups, but their red cup is filled with that yak in the middle of teaching. Anytime you ever see us drinking anything, this is mineral water or regular water or juices that's it. There ain't no alcohol, there ain't nothing that's going to put you under the influence of a different spirit, man. But you'll see brothers They'll take the old way of doing things and try to mix it because they weren't disciplined enough to eradicate that demon out of them. You still got men in the truth that think it's okay to beat their women. I'm a beater in the submission. Really? Because where does it say that? I thought it said not a striker, not a brawler. Right? I thought it said husbands dwell with your women according to knowledge. Not according to uppercut, jab, left, right, cross. Elbow, knee drop, kick her down the steps. Right? But they bring that old mentality, that old way of doing things, because why? When it was time to eradicate that and be disciplined, what did they do? What did they do? Well, they ran. They can't, those are the ones that camp hop. They be camp hopping every minute. They in a different camp. 1 minute they got the purple and gold on, next minute they got the all black, next minute they got the all white. Like, damn, what happened? Oh man, them brothers was doing me wrong. Or they got some damn excuse. The brothers was doing me wrong. Why? Because they were telling you to be disciplined? Because they were trying to eradicate certain things out of your spirit that wasn't needed, that was going to be a bad example? So you make up this excuse. Oh, them brothers over there, man, they was doing me wrong. So all 18 camps you went to was doing you wrong? They're all the problem and not you?
Right.
But for some reason, you still got alcoholism. You still got pride. You still got hate. You still a lion in your house. You still don't raise your children the right way. But Revelations 1:14 says his hair was like white like wool and his feet like bronze. Revelation, Genesis 49:12, his eyes should be red with wine and teeth white with milk. I got that down, son. This is what we're faced with. This is what we're dealing with, is self-anointed in the way of, I don't want to let nobody tell me that I'm good yet. I don't want somebody to tell me when I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm apt to teach. Go ahead.
Oh, you want that disciple?
Disciple, read it.
Disciple, a person who learns from another.
Hey, what?
A person who learns from another.
Who's ready to be a disciple first? And not just some smart ass. Not just some knowledgeable person. You got many knowledgeable men. Many brothers are studious, man. They can go through the Bible. They got all the dictionary in their head. They can remember every single breakdown. I can't remember nothing. The one thing I do remember is what? When I go on them streets, standard. When I be in my house, standard. When I'm around the brothers, standard. When I'm in the shower, standard. Because God is watching. The one thing I try to do is I remember always standard. I might not remember every breakdown. I might not remember every scripture. I'll ask y'all for scriptures. Where's that scripture at? But just know when it comes to, do I beat somebody's ass or do I let soft words, right? What does it say? A soft answer turn away wrath? Do I go upside a cat's head or do I let soft words prevail? I'm gonna let the soft words prevail. I'm not fighting nobody. I'm not invoking riots. I'm not out there whoremongering. I won't remember no scriptures, but I know, hey, if she walk like a hoe, and she talk like a hoe, and drink like a hoe, that's a hoe. The Bible says leave that alone. Right? I might not remember no breakdowns. I might not have the dictionary in my head. I might not have a million books. But I'll always remember standard and order and discipline and respect. And that's the problem. The knowledge is overriding order and respect. The knowledge, knowing things, is overriding being a disciple and letting what you be known or what you think you know revealed, reproved. Nobody wants to be reproved. Nobody wants to be a learner because I know every damn thing. I got YouTube, TikTok taught me, YouTube, memes, Instagram, Facebook. Oh, I see now on the meme. Oh, I see now on it. Oh, I know that. Now that's wrong. Nah. Because the brother, the brother's on drugs. What the hell can he teach you? Go ahead.
Especially one who then teaches others.
Right.
An active follower.
A what?
An active follower.
No, I followed for a little bit.
An active follower.
Then I was with them for 6 months.
An active follower.
Then I opened my own camp.
An active follower.
Active. You active in the following. Meaning what? It never ever stops. You're always under somebody's tutelage. Ooh, see, I thought that, it was just about free range. After you get up here, it's free range, right? You get up here and you just do you, right? No, because there's, hey, shalom, brother. Council, what's going on? Let's get the heads together. Let's talk. Let's do it every day, every other day. What y'all thought it was just me? I'm up here just freelancing. Zion, Kazak, Bagarab, Shaddad. Right? What y'all thought? Because I'm here, all of a sudden now, the active following stops. But that's the mind. I followed for 6 months. I got 15 breakdowns. Right? I know Ecclesiastes 2 barely. I know a little bit. So now I don't have to follow nobody. I can be the leader. That's where you mess up at. The following never stops. Go ahead.
To train.
Read, right, tutor, what else?
Educate and teach.
Right. Disciple, a learner, a scholar, one who receives or professes to receive instruction from another. A follower and adherent to the doctrines of others. Not just any doctrine though, right? To teach, to train, to bring up. Well, I got one for you. To punish and to discipline. That's what it means to be a disciple. You're going to get punished and you're going to be under discipline. Right? And again, the punishment ain't, a brother smacks you upside the face and kicks you and beats you with a cat of nine tails. He's going to punish that ego. He's going to punish that pride. You see that? Your husband is going to punish that pride and that ego. And children, y'all just going to be under punishment. Y'all going to get beat for real. So there's levels to this. There's levels. Your children are your disciples, brothers. Your rib is your disciple. Brothers, sisters, you're disciples of elder sisters. So everybody got to follow somebody. But does because she's an elder all of a sudden that she don't got to follow nothing? No. Hell no. Because I'm a parent, all of a sudden I don't follow nothing? There's still a guide. Active follower. That was beautiful. Active follower. Not dormant. You a dormant follower? Yeah, I followed. I did that. That's Israel though. I already did that. I follow that. How long I gotta follow for? Ever? Ever's a ever. You take, what do you say? You take the 4 off that, it's a long ass time. Ever. Right? Ever. Ever following. Right? Go back to Hebrews. Go back to Hebrews 5 and 12.
Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12.
See, I'm showing y'all, trying to hit it both ways, and hopefully y'all are seeing how do you make a good teacher and how you get trash teachers. Well, trash teachers ain't going to be under no active following. They're not going to be under no active tutelage, even when they're the leader. So what's going to happen? Well, something's going to mess up somewhere. But this is why it says this. Read it.
Hebrews.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, also too, there's a lot to learn when you do follow. Because again, you can sit here and read the book all day, but there's a lot. It's like somebody that like goes to school to be a doctor, right? They can do like all the book work, but then after that, there's this process that they have to go through where they have to actually be with a doctor and watch that doctor.
Intern.
Even though they study,
Intern.
they gotta be the intern, so they can actually see things happen, and that's why the disciples roll with Christ. Why? Because they got to see situations being dealt out, and they got to see like in certain situations where they wanted to call down fire, it was like, nah, don't call no fire, don't do that. Where in their minds it's like, oh yeah, it's right to call down fire right here. You see what I'm saying? Yahweh Shai showed a different way, so that's another aspect of following that's very important, is to be able to actually pick up the different situations and see the way the person handles it. So,
Fine.
Teachers,
So when it was time for you to be a teacher,
yep.
go ahead.
ye have need that one teach you again.
Yeah. Why? Because you thought that you fought 6 months and that was it. You didn't get enough. You didn't get enough learning in 6 months, in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years, in 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. You didn't get enough, man. Enough wasn't eradicated out of your spirit for you to be a good example. So now all of the things that rest in you, they get displayed in your teachings. Not just what you say, but in what you do. So if you believed in smacking a hoe, oh yeah, and you hid when it was time to get that out of you, guess what you're going to do when it's time for you to leave? You're going to be smacking hoes. And guess what? Everybody under you is going to smack hoes too. That's true. That's just what it is. If it was about your kids and showing you how to get your house in order, and if a man can't lead his own house, how can he lead the church of God? When it was time for you to learn that and you ran away because I didn't want to hear about that. Now when you become the leader, the teacher, guess what you're going to teach men? To not take care of their families. Right? To not to teach their ribs, not to teach their sons and their daughters. So it's just going to be a camp full of men running around smacking hoes with bad kids smoking cigarettes and weed and little daughters like little sluts, little whores. That's what you're going to have. A camp of disgruntled women and monstrous children. All the men going to be in order, right? Until they start smacking hoes. You see my point? Y'all looking at me like, why is he saying that? I'm saying it on purpose. Because you got brothers that really talk like this. You got cats that are going on YouTube, teach a whole class, talking about smacking women in order. F them kids. They'll be all right, let the world raise them. You got men that are really on this. You got men that are really teaching craziness, and it's because when the time for them to be teachers, they had to be retaught. They should be retaught. The time when they were learning, they didn't pick up. They didn't purge, and they didn't pick up enough to be a teacher. Go ahead.
Ye have need that one teach you again.
Go ahead.
Which be the first principles of the oracles of God.
Go ahead.
And are become such as have need of milk.
You got to go back through the baby stages, man. You got to go back, but think about a child that hasn't been properly reared from birth to 5. Think about a child that has gaps in their rearing and in their nurture. What tends to happen later on in life? You start to see those things. It's true. You start to see, like, wow, nobody cared about you, and they'll tell you, like, nobody cared about me. So you see their lack of love. They display it on others. Their lack of nurture, they'll display it in the way they do things. They'll be scared to be in relationships, right? They'll disappear when it's time for them to invest more. You'll see it. You'll be able to point those people out and say, "Oh, damn, nobody invested in you. Oh, nobody took the time to nurture you." So they're not gonna. A person that's not nurtured ain't gonna be a nurturer. How does that work? Can it? Maybe, right? Maybe very few, but for the most part, you can't do something that you weren't taught to do. That's the point. You can't mimic something that you ain't never seen. That's the point. And whatever is in you is going to be what you bring out.
You can't hide it.
And you're not going to be, you said what?
You can't hide it.
You're not going to be able to hide it. You're right, because there's nothing to mask it. The word doesn't hide things from us, but it's supposed to pull things out of us. Not to just cover it over like Christianity tells us. Just confess Jesus in your heart and he'll just take it all away. Wait, so you ain't got to do nothing? You ain't got to actively fight and actively believe and actively stop the negative that's in you? Nah, because Jesus got you. He got the wheel. So it ain't like Christianity to just brush things over. But you have to actively do something. But see, it's that discipline. I got to do something? Nah, I don't want to do that though. I don't want to, first of all, I don't want to be disciplined because it sucks. I don't want to go through the time and the purge because that sucks, it hurts, right? I don't see the reason. I don't understand why I got to go through this. I ain't got time for this. And remember, I'm already puffed up because I know something. I'm already puffed up because I got mad books, yo. I got mad YouTubes. I got my Bible looks like a rainbow. It's highlighted with all the colors. Right? I'm a walking concordance. I can scriptures. What's that one scripture about? Oh yeah, that's Jeremiah 14:2. Like damn, I ain't even finished asking the question yet. You read so you a mind reader too? Oh damn. Remember, knowledge can't override learning. Knowledge can't override wisdom. But that's what happens, man. We got knowledge overriding the proper way to do things. Because a person is knowledgeable doesn't mean that they're practical. Doesn't mean that they got the understanding. It doesn't even mean that they believe in what they know. Oh yeah, I know about Jesus. Y'all know about that Hebrew stuff. And why you kept it? I know about that Hebrew stuff, but I ain't messing with that. I know about atheists. I know about Hebrews. I know about Kemet. I know about what's the one? The lodges, Masons. I'd rather be a Mason. Why? Can you get to wear that ring and do a weird handshake?
Yeah. Sticker in your car.
Yeah, because that's not hard. To learn a handshake and do some weird stuff and wear a ring, that ain't hard. But tapping in and letting the word purge your spirit. Ooh. It's like a vampire on silver. It's like a vampire with garlic, right? You vampire watchers. Go ahead, read.
And not of strong milk.
Right.
For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness.
Romans 2:17. And that's the problem with a lot of these teachers. They're unskilled. Their lust is to speak and to say things, but what skill? There's a skill in delivering a message. Right? Just watch these different people that oratate. You know who I like to watch? I like to watch Joel Osteen. Not because of what he's saying. It's the way he says it. The way he says things, man, he put your whole mind at ease. You start believing that crap.
Like Barack Obama.
I like to watch Obama. I've been watching Obama since his first little speech that he did at the DNC way back in like 2006 or whatever it was. And I'm like, damn, that brother can talk. Mm-hmm. That dude got the words. He is a smooth orator. Right? And you listen to Donald Trump, you're like, oh, he's trash. Yeah. Listen to George Bush, he's trash. But listen to these people that can speak well and oratate. It's a skill. There's a way they take you through the emotions of what they're saying. And you're like, damn, I believe that. Right? They make you believe in stuff. It's a skill.
Wordsmiths.
Wordsmiths, right? They call them wordsmiths. Right? Gift of gab. But a lot of them they're taught. They're taught. Even with their hand movements and their hand placement and all these different things. It's a skill. Right? We learn the same skill. We learn the same skill on how to speak, what to speak, but it's easy because it's all here. It's not too hard. But then, just because it's all here, do I just come like a hammer? With everything I'm doing? I'm just coming like a sledgehammer, just breaking things down with every scripture. Even when I'm coming to preach, I'm reading Isaiah, what is it, 61 and 1, what is it, 61 and 1?
Yeah.
60, what is it, 63 and 1? Preach the gospel. And I'm yelling and screaming it, right? Every scripture is yelling and screaming mode. Isn't there a way to administer the word in different settings? I'm here to exhort y'all, and I'm going in. Like, damn, is he here to exhort or check? Is he here to go in or to comfort? There's a way to administer the word. There's a skill behind it. There's knowing what to say and what not to say in a moment. Right? There's knowing when to say. It's called discernment and discretion. The skill that a lot of people don't have. Discernment and discretion. What to say and when to say it. How to say it. Where you at?
Romans chapter 2, verse 17.
Go ahead.
Behold, thou art called a Jew,
Go ahead.
and rested in the law.
Yeah, because that's what we hang our hat on, right? As teachers. The law. Bring it back to the law. Go ahead.
And makest thy boast of
And
God,
we boast in the Most High, right? Go ahead.
and knowest his will,
Read.
and approvest the things that are more excellent,
Right, man. Oh, put down that religion. Come to the Bible. Go ahead.
being instructed of the law,
Go ahead. Not being instructed out of the law. Go ahead.
and are confident that thou thyself art a guide of the blind,
Go ahead.
a light of them which are in darkness.
Right, as we should be, right? Shouldn't we be confident when we teach? Shouldn't we be confident that when I'm administering this word, I'm guiding? But how can one that is guiding guide if he's never been guided? How can one that is guiding guide if he's never been guided? How can you lead if you've never been led? Or if you've only been led to a certain point, or you've only been brought to a certain point in your learning. So when you cut yourself off from that learning and you get to your point, what do you have to give? Past that point, you're only going to be able to give what you know. When you boast, you brag, you're a light, you're a guide. Go ahead.
An instructor of the foolish,
Go ahead.
a teacher of babes,
Well, you're a babe yourself. You're a babe because your senses ain't been exercised. So how can a baby teach a baby? That's like Manashah walking in there and trying to teach the babies how to eat properly with spoons and forks when they older than him. How can he teach them the things that they've already learned, or that they're more advanced than him than? Doesn't make sense, right? But see, no one wants to be called a babe. That's the problem. No one wants to be sat down and instructed that, hey, you just don't have this part yet. Again, what's wrong with that? Again, who walks into their local Walmart? Okay, that's a bad analogy, because we all do it now. We all ring our stuff up, right? I was gonna say, who walks up and knocks the cashier out the way? I'm gonna ring this up. We all do it. Self check. Right? Okay, who goes to their local mechanic? Drops the car off, kicks him out the way, and just starts working on their car. I got this, cuz. I got tools too. I know how to work a wrench. Because you know how to work a wrench, does that mean you know how to fix the whole damn car? But that's how Israel be thinking. The wrench is Revelations 14. The wrench is Jeremiah 14:2. The wrench is 1 Peter 3:1. Because you can tell her to submit to you. Now the whole Bible is unlocked. All the understanding, all the discernment. Now you got all the methods. You got all the discretion. Because 1 Peter 3:1, you know when to say that. That's the wrench to unlock. And that's not the case. That's not how it works. It don't work like that. Right? Go ahead.
which has the form of knowledge.
Which has a what?
Which has the form of
So
knowledge.
you got the form of knowledge because you learned a little bit. We've learned. We all got some knowledge. The form of knowledge. Go ahead.
And of the truth
Right?
in the law.
Go ahead.
Thou therefore, which teacheth another,
Right?
teacheth thou not
Well,
thyself.
how is a man going to teach himself? Well, really, it's at the time you all be teachers, you need someone to teach you. Teachers, not thou thyself, was you supposed to sit down and learn, not from yourself, but from an actual teacher. See, part of the problem with these self-anointed scholars and teachers is that I don't need no man to teach me. Spirit, I'm gonna let the Spirit teach me. Nigga, what? The Spirit? is going to teach you what? Because from what I understand, the Spirit was about wisdom, knowledge, understanding, not hearing the side of your eyes only, just hearing of your ears, but judging righteously. Meaning you have to have your senses exercised for the Spirit to be able to teach you anything. So really, what was going to teach you? Another person was going to sit next to you and show you that your senses weren't exercised. Just like a baby. Right? How does a baby learn how to walk? Someone guides them. Mommy or daddy is there seeing that, oh, he's ready to walk. He's making the preparations to take his first steps. So let me guide that. Let me clear all the debris out the living room so when he does fall, he don't land on a Lego and it makes an imprint in his forehead. Right? Let me baby-proof the whole house, the corners. Right? Let me set things up for the proper ascent into walking. What happens when nobody's there to do that? You might learn how to walk, but the corners of them tables are going to be busting that skull open. Right? You're going to have some knots in your forehead. Why? Because no one prepared the way for you. No one set things up for your walking to be a little bit easier. It's not that you won't learn. It's not that you don't have a form of walking. But it's how did you have to learn? How did you have to learn it? Read on.
Thou that preachest, a man should not steal.
Right?
Dost thou steal?
Right. You listen, Akim, stop beating your women. But I'm a drunkard. What the hell? It's the same folly, ain't it? Or I'm beating my woman and y'all are the drunkards. Stop drinking. But he's beating me. So you teach a man to steal, but you steal? You teach a man thou shalt not this, but you doing this? Why? Because it goes back to the point of being able to allow yourself to be a disciple. You have to allow yourself to be taught. Women, sisters, allow yourself to be taught. I know it's not easy all the time because the brothers too, that pride, that ego, we at the wrong time, man, that little niglet pops up and he sits right here and says, I know something too. And you be like, damn, I do know something. Why are you telling me something? I know something. I'm important. I'm needed. I'm loved. We're not, you kind. We're all needed. We're all loved, right? We're all appreciated. But does that mean that you know something in that moment? Does that mean that your appreciation is going to override the knowledge that's needed in that moment? Or the love that we have for you is going to override what's needed in the moment? What the hell does love got to do with lifting a fridge? Not a damn thing, right? Or doing it the right way, I should say. Doing things the right way. What does love got to do with being in that mall and being in there the right way? Or need? Nothing, right? It's about sitting there and being taught. Like you're in the mall right now, right? First couple of days, right? Did you walk in there like, nah, nigga, move over. I got these oils.
Go ahead.
Nah, right? You're in there. You're still in observation mode, disciple mode, right? What are you learning? Well, you're learning. Okay, I gotta learn how to deal with the people the right way. I can't eyeball people. I can't look at them. I can't like intensively look at people because they're gonna take offense, right? Right? You're learning the mixes. You're learning different ways to speak to people than what you're used to. You're learning all these different things. I know it's probably a lot, but the point is, he couldn't walk into that mall and literally be himself. Nobody can. You'll fail because yourself is not what's needed in the mall. Yourself is, you know what? I'm tired. You know what? My feet hurt. You know what? I can't do it. You know what? I'm going home. Yourself wants to cry in those situations. But the apostle, the teacher is like, no, we got this. Watch. And then boom. No, look, let me show you something. Because the next time that he does it, and then boom. No, look, let me show you something. Look, don't stare at them too hard because they're gonna be, they spooky out here. They're gonna think that you know what I'm saying, like you want some beef or something, right? Remember, when it's a couple and it's a man and it's a woman, make sure you always deal with the man. Give him the respect, right? Don't be eyeballing this woman, even though you might not be. He gonna think something. Like all these things, right? But you walk in there and you're like, I'm gonna just do me. What happens? You fail, bro. You said what?
Hickeys.
Go with that donut. Right? 2 Timothy 1 and verse 11. See, the point is, who's going to go through the discipline? Who's going to go through the tutoring and the governing to get to this point? There's another one. Read that.
2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 11.
Right?
Whereunto I am appointed a preacher,
Right.
and an apostle, and a teacher of the Gentiles.
He said I was what? Read it from the top.
Whereunto I am appointed a preacher.
No, I took the title.
Appointed a preacher.
I appointed myself.
I am appointed a preacher.
Yeah, see, Paul had to sit back and allow himself to be appointed, meaning designated or chosen. Not just the fact that you're chosen from birth, from the womb, we know that. But now for Paul to be able to set up these 7 churches, he had to be chosen, but he had to go through his crucible of learning. He had to go through putting off the things that he was on. Right? Or else what? He'd be in the church telling them that, go kill Jews. It's okay to murder people. It's okay to just kill them. Round them up. Get them out of here. You don't like them? Forget it. When they come up against you, just kill them. That's what Paul was on. Gathering Jews, gathering people, and killing them. He had to eradicate that mind state. That way when they said they withstood us, or they came up against us, what did he do? What did Paul do when they said that they went to one city they came up against? What did he do? Right, he did what Christ did. He said, dust off your feet. They don't receive you, dust off your feet. Next city, it's better for Sodom and Gomorrah than for that city that don't receive you.
Alright.
But Paul's mind would have been the old man is what? Wipe them out. Kill them. Let's get rid of them. He said, nope, they didn't accept us. Next city. Oh, you know what? Damn, we just gained 5,000 followers. Next city. It came up. Next city. Oh, we added more apostles. We added more souls. Just read Acts. Read Acts 9 all the way through, and you'll see. Like, oh, damn, Paul wasn't out there brawling in the bars. Well, how could he? How could he when he was telling Timothy, don't do these things. Don't be a brawler. Don't be a fighter. Don't be a drunkard. How would he be a good teacher if he was doing those things and then telling Timothy and Titus how to get their women in order? If he just had harlots all around him. If he had little hoes and dainty things skipping by. And Titus, the aged women, right? The aged women, Titus, make sure they're in order and their behavior is one of holiness. But he got hoes dangling by. How would he be effective? How would that even be fair? Right? It wouldn't even be fair. It wouldn't be right. He wouldn't be able to show himself a faithful man throughout his whole walk because he wasn't doing the faithful thing. Paul had to let the things be eradicated from his spirit to be able to now give the best version of himself to Timothy, to Titus, Barnabas, all them brothers that he said, go here, go to this church, go to this church, ordain other elders. How could they be trusted to ordain other elders that weren't going to be covetous, that weren't going to have sex with all the women, that weren't going to steal, that weren't going to rob the place blind? How could he be confident in that? Well, because he was the first example. That he taught them, knowing that they were going to choose men that were going to be just like them. Y'all see that? But the first point was he had to wait to be appointed.
God.
Paul, go here. Okay. Now I need you to go here. Now go here. He didn't take it upon himself. Because that self, ooh, come on. All you gotta do is read about Paul. He called himself a blasphemer. An ignorant blasphemer. How the hell can that teach anybody anything righteous? So you can write the next point. Because of the lack of tutoring and governing. Or this is what the lack of tutoring and governing brings. 2 Peter 2 and verse 1. And again, we see this all through Israel, man. You'll see it all through Israel.
God.
You'll see it all through church. You'll see it all through Kemet. You'll see it through all these, just through everything. In every sect of some type of belief, there's always a nigga that's trying to pop himself up and prop himself up as the man. If y'all are hot, 'cause I know it probably is, y'all can hit the AC. Now, you know we ain't got no AC problem, so come on. If y'all are hot, hit it a degree or two. I ain't scared. Read that. 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 1.
2 Peter chapter 2, verse 1.
Read.
But there were false prophets also among the people,
Go ahead.
even as there shall be false teachers among
See
you.
that there's always going to be some false teacher. What makes him false? The fact that he didn't sit down and learn first. That's what makes him false. The first thing about being a teacher is to be taught. So, who's vetting their teachers? That's why we always say you better vet who you learning from. You sitting there watching everybody's damn YouTube, I'm watching this school and that school and that school, right? Did you vet them? Did you get their pedigree? Did you find out who they learned from and how long they learned? But then you come up like priest. The brother was talking about. It's just all madness, and I'm like, yeah, well, who do you learn from? And then you go through the read and you're like, oh, he's a branch off of that school. What do you expect? Right? And I'm not going in on schools or anything like that. It's not a school. It's not a whose school is better and things like that. But you can understand where certain mind states come from, who they were taught by. And then you get to go through it. And then when you really get the backstory that he cussed out his elders and he didn't like them because of this, and then they accused him of adultery, and then he left and started his own school. Now he's teaching that, oh yeah, you know what? What did one of the bros say? About Will Smith?
Oh.
He said I would have, what did he say? He said I would have told Chris Rock to go get some coke and get Jada high.
Yeah.
I played that for y'all in here.
Yeah.
You got men teaching, come on, bruh. That Chris Rock should have got back at Will Smith by getting Jada high on cocaine and crack and then having sex with her. Then proceeded to tell you where the best coke was in every city. Like, how do you know that? You're supposed to be a Bible guy. How do you know where the best crack is and heroin is in every city in the United States? He started naming blocks. I'm like, whoa. But read it again.
2 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. But there were false prophets also among the people,
right?
Even as there shall be false teachers among you.
Because you rest in the law, you make your boast of the law. You have a form of knowledge, but then you tell a man the way to get back at another man is to sleep with his wife? Ooh, damn. So you didn't learn from David? Oh, okay. So that's what we on? That's what we on? Get her high and lay with her. That'll teach him. Damn. I like to hear those counsels. If that's what's being said on the airways, I want to sit inside I just want to be a fly on the wall in councils with the heads. That's just one instance, man. Come on. There's so many. Go ahead, read on.
Who privily shall bring in damnable heresy.
Right?
Even denying the Lord that bought them.
Because that's what it's going to get to. They're going to deny Christ and do what? I'm the comforter. Oh, get to. It already got there. I'm the comforter. I'm the voice of God. This is the one and only school. That's what it's gonna. That's what it's at. This is what we've come to. This is where we're at. Where a man can say that he's the voice of God. That is insanity. Where a school where a man can call himself the comforter. So you're gonna teach me all things, even from the beginning? Damn. Well, the Bible said that all things can't be in man, but you know everything. So you're gonna teach me all the things from aforetime, all the things in the future, all the things you're gonna teach. Okay, you're the comforter. I didn't know the comforter could catch corona and die. I didn't know that was a part. I didn't know that was a part of being the comforter. Okay. You the home of the truth. Oh, I didn't know the truth got sick. I didn't know the truth got sick and ended up in hospital beds. Right? I thought the truth was everlasting and pure but see, damnable heresies, a knowledge of a form of knowledge, but they'll start to deny what brought them even in, which was the Lord. Read on.
And bring upon themselves swift destruction.
Right, go to 2 Timothy 4:2. 2 Timothy 4 and verse 2.
2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 2.
Right?
Preach the word.
Read.
Be instant in season.
Be ready. Go ahead.
Out of season.
Read.
Reprove.
Everybody's good at that. You got all the reproving scriptures. You got all the cuts. Go ahead.
Rebuke.
You got all the rebuke them sharply. You got a whole section in your Bible that says rebuke. You got a whole word document. Rebuke them. Sisters, brothers. You got all that. Go ahead.
Exhort.
You don't know how to do that? Ooh. You forgot that was part of it, right? The balance. Like Jeremiah said, break down, but then build up. Read.
Exhort with all long suffering.
Oh, no. You ain't got that. Long suffering. Hell no, I'm tired of these niggas. I need a whole new school. I need new followers. There was a brother that said that. They ain't learning, man. I need a whole new following. Dang. What? So you just gonna, what are you gonna do? Lock the doors? What are you gonna do? You gonna pull a Joel Osteen and lock the doors on them? They coming for class and doors is locked. Because they're not getting it and you have no long suffering for them to get it. Because when it was time for you to be a teacher, someone got to reteach you how to long suffer. These are the skills. These are the disciplines that these false teachers don't have. The ones that just have the lust to teach. They don't have the discipline of long suffering, of balance. Go ahead.
Exhort with all long suffering,
right,
and doctrine.
3.
For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine.
Go ahead.
But after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers.
And this is talking about the ones that want to hear that nonsense. They'll heap to themselves teachers. Why? Read.
Having itching ears.
Go ahead.
And they shall turn away their ears from the truth.
Right.
And shall be turned into fables.
Yeah, man. Fables and lies. False doctrines. Listen, it's not even the fact that it's false, it's just weird. Yeah. Weirdo stuff that's coming out. You're like, what the hell? Like, where did y'all even get that from?
I got one.
What?
So
I want to hear all of it.
So this lady today.
Oh yeah. See, brand new.
I was like,
brand new.
I go, hey queen.
Ooh.
And she was like, oh, appreciate that, but I'm not a queen. I'm a king. And I was like, okay. She was like, yeah, didn't Jesus say he's the king of all kings? He didn't say the king of all kings and queens. So therefore, in my spiritual body, in my spiritual essence, I am a king because Jesus is my king. Oh, look, you got it?
Oh, so the black woman ain't God no more. She's a king.
She's a king.
See that? Yeah, listen, the same black woman as God, you had them, they was out there teaching that women can impregnate themselves. I remember that. They all moved to Panama somewhere and lived in the mountains off of bamboo and roots. Yeah, just lived in the mountains butt naked talking about, yeah, we don't need no men. We can impregnate ourselves. We're asexual. right? That's what can impregnate themselves. Yeah, we're asexual creatures. I'm like, where in life did that ever happen? So,
Well, the Egyptians believed in that it's called parthenogenesis.
okay.
Where they can impregnate themselves. It came from like Isis and all that.
Oh, right. So that's where you get that madness. That's when you get that madness, but then they teaching women, and then they gravitate to that. You got brothers, listen, you got brothers out there teaching like, oh yeah, we could have more than one wife for reproductive services. Like, where does it say that? Like, that's the only reason. They make it a point to use that as the only reason. But wait a minute, don't it say husband of a first wife? Why do you have to be a husband of a first wife if it was just about reproductive? Anybody can reproduce, right? Donkeys and dogs reproduce, and dogs eat their babies. So if it was just about, oh yeah, I got 7 ribs, I got 7 wives, all to reproduce. Look at me. Wait, but husband of a first wife, blameless, apt to teach. What you gonna teach? All 7 of them. Because when they come with the, you know what? Well, we want to reproduce for the next man. Ooh, what you gonna do then? What you gonna do then when they come up with the doctrine? When they start hitting you with the kemet, where what the reverse is, the woman can have more than one husband. What happens with that? When that gets introduced, what number husband you gonna be?
You gonna be the side?
You gonna be the side?
The side piece for reproduction?
Ugh. You gonna be the in-house sneaky link? You the in-house? Listen, they teaching that out there, that women can have more than one husband. That's insanity. So when is it your turn? And why would you want to turn? Right? Go to read, where we at?
We're in 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 5.
No, jump down. 1 Timothy's 1 and 3.
2 Timothy.
1 Timothy's 1 and 3.
1 Timothy.
Yep.
1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 3.
Right.
As I besought thee to abide still at Ephesus,
Right.
when I went into Macedonia,
Right.
that thou mightest charge some that they teach no other doctrine.
Because men that are untaught, they're gonna hear things and just be ready to spill it. They're gonna feel something in their spirit and be like, you know what? I should teach that. That sounds about right.
That's some spirit telling me.
That sounds right. Gravity. Sun,
Gravity.
planets. That's a great concept. Well, the Bible don't talk about planets, but Pluto, universes, outer space. The white man said the universe is shrinking faster than we thought. So, brothers, I need you guys to let's go into Genesis 1. Let's make some crap up about universes, right? Because that's what it's about now. I want to be able to teach something that nobody else is teaching, so I can be the #1 gunner.
Multiverse.
So, yeah, what?
The multiverse.
They teaching that? That's not a
No, it's not.
It might be.
It might be.
It might be. Next thing you know, there's gonna be some multiverse doctrine to see. And when you go into Daniel's visions, all the prophetic visions were about the multiverse, and all the things were happening at the same time. See, it says it right here. Daniel's right. When you go into Revelations, John was seeing the multiverse because it says the kingdom is already prepared. Right? Ark. Right? You're gonna be like, what the? And then if you ain't rooted, you're gonna be like, damn, teach me more. That sounds wonderful. Teach me more.
How do you tap into the
So
multiverse?
how do you get to that multiverse? Oh, through the pineal gland. And then what happens is you got to activate the chakra in your anal. It always ends up back at the anal. And once you hear that, run! But see those itching ears, you're like, oh, really? So how do I do that? How do I do calcify the penile? Well, you rub baking soda on it with a little bleach,
Once per day.
right? And you. But how do I get the anal chakra to go? Well, that's a little different.
There's only one way.
There's only one way to do that. And you still sitting there, contemplating like, really? Can't be that bad, right? Because look, he's smart. He's knowledgeable. Try to get that knowledge.
And then you're gonna be running around with a bald head with one big long fat dread ponytail.
Right. With a diamond embedded in your forehead looking like Vision.
Yeah.
Right? Talking about hotel. They ain't no longer Shalom. Read on.
Neither give heed to fables,
Right?
and endless genealogies,
Go ahead.
which minister questions.
Yeah, unneeded questions. See, a teacher got to know that when he's teaching, what questions is this going to gender up? What is this going to do in the minds of the people that I'm teaching? What questions is it going to invoke? Is it going to add question upon question that now it can't be answered and they're confused? But see, a person that's been guided and trained and been under tutors and governors is going to be able to be considerate in those things. Go ahead.
Rather than godly edification.
Right. Who is being edified? Is there any type of edification? Spiritual, a person being built up spiritually. Or now that they got a bunch of questions and they just confused, they want to leave the truth. Like, damn, he dropped that class and all of a sudden I got to question my faith. That ain't good. Yeah, he said that and now I just don't know what to believe. Maybe I should go to Kemet. That pineal gland stuff sounds interesting. Does it? Read on.
Rather than godly edifying, which is in faith.
Read.
So do.
Read.
Now the end of the commandment is charity.
Right.
Out of a pure heart.
Go ahead.
And of a good conscience.
Go ahead.
And of faith unfeigned.
Yeah, see, it's about these things. Exercising your mind in these things and discipline in these things. Faith, unfake. Not fake faith. Not having charity out of a good heart and out of a good conscience for others. Go ahead.
From which some having swerved.
Yeah, they like, faith. Hell nah. It ain't about that no more. It's about glory. It's about sounding smart. Because I'm smart. It's about looking good. It's about getting my views up. About getting my channel popping. It's about when I go to your city, they know me up in here. Go ahead.
Have turned aside unto vain jangling.
Go ahead.
Desiring to be teachers of the law.
What?
Desiring to be teachers of the law.
Because it's all about the law. Where's your fringes? Where's your beard? Where's your hair wrap? Where's this? Where's that? Okay, so then where's your sacrifice? Where's your animal? For every time you had a baby and you're supposed to bring turtle doves and your rib was supposed to go up and offer, where's that at? That is all about the law. Right? Where's your purification offering? Where's your water separation offering when you went to go bury your family? Where's this offering? Where's your heifer with the dung and the fur burnt up with the ashes? Where's that at? Go ahead.
Understanding neither what they say.
That was from my Old Testament brews that don't believe in Jesus. We don't believe in that white man Jesus. You damn right, because we don't either. But if you believe so much in the Old Testament, where the hell's your sacrifice? Where's that blood? The Old Testament was about blood. Where is it?
Still in effect.
Wait, according to them?
According to them, still in effect.
Where is it? Why you ain't sacrificing turtle doves when your woman comes off her menstrual? Aren't you supposed to? Where's your turtle doves and your lamb of the first year when you have all them little sons and daughters? Oh, okay, I get it. You ain't got lamb. You ain't got turtle doves. But it's about the law. I'm a teacher that it's about the Old Testament. That New Testament stuff, that's Christianity. That's white people. Okay, so how come you're not following what you teach to the T? That's my point. How come you're not following what you teach? You rest in the law. You make your boast in the law. Go ahead.
Understanding neither what they say.
That's the point. You miss the spirituality of the law. That the law was always spiritual. That it was always about grace and mercy with the law. Not about shedding that blood. But you boast so much in it, why you ain't doing it? Go ahead.
Nor whereof they affirm.
Titus 1 and verse 11.
Titus chapter 1, verse 11.
Right?
Whose mouths must be stopped.
And I love going here because this is talking about Israel. It says these teachers got to be stopped. But we ain't going to be able to stop them. The only thing you can do is just stop logging on to them. Stop listening and letting yourself be swerved into that BS. Come on, you know the ones. What's that, sis?
I guess I have a question about if you're really glued to the scriptures and everything, and you go and you go to a revival, okay, and they're healing, they're teaching, and all that, okay, and so you're very sincere in wanting to know about it, but the it that you're knowing about is not really correct. So are you accountable for not knowing or what? You know, you are accountable for being taught wrong and you're sincere and you stay in it.
Yeah, you are. The scriptures say for the leaders of this people cause them to err. And they that are led of them, I'm going to misquote it, so let me get it. But the leaders of this people cause them to err. Right? You are accountable to an extent. Right. Isaiah 9:16, read it.
Isaiah chapter 9.
So her question was, just think about it. Just think about it like this. If I go sit up in a synagogue right now, and I say, you know what? That Israelite stuff, I ain't rocking with that. I'm about to go be a Buddhist. Or I'm about to go follow Islam. Guess what happens? I'm held accountable for that. And if I start to now err, what's going to happen? Because in Islam, you can't eat pork, but you can eat shrimp, right? In Islam, there's certain things you can and can't do, right? But then when you go to scripture for Quran, you're like, oh, wait. And then when you see what they do, like, they trade little girls, 8 years old, for little playthings. We ain't doing that, right? Grown men, 8 years old. There's no law on their. There's no age limit for them. There's no age limit when it comes to them taking a wife, right? Everything is lawful for them. We don't roll like that. So yeah, when the destruction comes, because you follow that false teacher, that's on you. Watch, read it.
Isaiah chapter 9, verse 16.
Think about Christianity, how we followed that. It's okay to eat pork. You ate it, and what happened? Look at all the high blood pressure in church, all the diabetes in church, all the bad health in church. Right? Go ahead.
For the leaders of this people cause them to err.
Go ahead.
And they that are led of them are destroyed.
Yeah. So, we're not. The one thing is this. The negative can only go so far. Like, think about it. Everybody in here was in church, right? So, for the most part. Right? And you slowly started to see the signs that, ooh, wait a minute. Something just ain't, the spirit just ain't connecting right. Right? The spirit just ain't, it just, something missing. And the more the spirit started to be revealed, what happened? The more you start to question. The more you weren't getting questions answered, the more you question. Why ain't they answering my question? The hell?
Just pray on it.
Just pray on it. That's the classic answer, right? Or talk to the Father, whatever they say. But the point is, the more you start inquiring, the less attention you were getting on your inquiries. The more you start to pull back, right? Or supposed to. You were supposed to dive in deeper. But a lot of our people, the reason why they're still following that, and they're going to die as Christians, they're going to die as Muslims, they're going to die as Buddhists, they're going to die as Orthodox Jews, non-Orthodox Jews, running around with the curls and yarmulkes. They're going to die in that. They're going to die in atheism. Because they're not seeing the signs that they shouldn't be following them. They're so caught up in whatever leader, they'll be destroyed. What's that?
Does that one in Job 12 and 16 also go with what she's...
Read it. What does it say?
Job chapter 12, verse
You
16.
know I don't know what it says.
With him is strength and wisdom.
Right?
The deceived and the deceiver are his.
Yeah, the deceiver and the deceived are his. Right? No, you're good. The deceiver and the deceived is his. Job 12
and 16.
And what?
Job chapter 12, verse 16.
Yeah. If you want you out that madness, he'll get you out that madness. But Most High speak once, say twice, man, perceive it not. He gives us the signs, and you see it, you hear it. But then we tend to, oh man, you know, it's just pastor being pastor.
Yeah.
Pastor eyeing every woman in the damn congregation. He got 14 baby mamas. You like, damn, our pastor got all the single women pregnant. What the hell's going on here? Why is scandal around pastor's name? Y'all seen Greenleaf? Come on, man. Y'all ain't watch Greenleaf? Oh, y'all gotta watch it. That show's crazy. But it goes into a family that runs the church. And it goes into all the scandal, all that craziness. Who's gonna take over the church when the pastor dies? What son is gay? What daughter is gonna take over when she come out of nowhere? Like all the things that you can think of that, guess what? They didn't make up. It was all real. They took it from real situations. We just don't hear about it because we ain't part of them churches. Right? But yes, you are held accountable. He that knew the master's will and prepared himself not is beaten with many stripes. He that knew not the master's will and prepared himself not is beaten with few stripes. That's Luke 14:26. So yes, there is going to be an accountability no matter what. Why? Because the word has been gone out throughout the entire world. That's the point. Look at them. Look at the children that got killed. If that's real, look at that. They're accountable. They're being led by wicked parents, right? But they're being led, and look, Most High held them accountable. You know, it just is what it is. That's why. Watch. Go to 2 Timothy 3:16. I didn't even have this in here. I believe it's 2 Timothy 3:16. This is important. This is very important. Is it 2 Timothy? Yep. 3:16, right? Let's see here. Do I know something? No, not all scripture. 3:13.
2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 13.
Yep.
But evil men
Right.
and seducers
Right.
shall wax worse and worse.
Yeah, this is what you got to understand, that evil men and seducers, right? Joel Osteen is a damn seducer. If you ain't got your mind set, bro, I ain't on front. The other day, I was skipping through the TV, and the old Smiley face came on. Right? And it was Sunday, and I was like, man, let me see what Smiley is talking about. And he was going in. He was going in on how the Most High will translate, he'll transfer riches and wealth. And he was going to Bible verses and stories, and I was like, ooh.
Sounds good, huh?
It was sounding wonderful. I mean, he didn't stutter not once. The nigga is cold. Bruh. That is one cold white boy when it comes to talking. And he just smiles and all his teeth, and you just hair all perfect. Suit ain't got one wrinkle in it. Everything is crisp and clean around him, and you like, whoa.
Was he doing some of these?
He's doing all that. He's doing all that. He is dancing on stage and not even dancing. And the whole time he's thinking, money, 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 money. Right? And everybody in there is just like, ooh, ah. And me, I'm sitting there like, God, I'm washing dishes and I'm like, that's a cold ass white boy, right? Like, dang. But if I didn't have my mind and my senses, I would have got wrapped up in what the hell he was talking about. I would have got wrapped up in him. Because what he's talking about is real. What he was bringing out was real. He was bringing out perfect instances of what he was on point. But what do I know about him? That he's a seducer. And to get that money, to get that recognition, to keep that mansion, right? He was talking about how when he went to go get the stadium, right? They went and they did a 30-year lease and, $300,000 a month, brothers and sisters. And we had it in our heart because we wanted to buy it, but we just didn't have the funds, right? And he's going in. Then he said how the city of Houston came and was like, we're behind on our taxes. We'll basically sell you the building. How much they sell it to him for? $7 million. $7 million. Bro, way cheaper than what they was going to pay for it on a 30-year lease at $300,000. But he was but then he would start going into the Bible and this story and that story. I was like, damn. But I always kept one thing in my mind when I look at him. That nigga's a wolf. He's a seducer. Go ahead.
But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse.
And the worse and worse is what? He's going to be more and more convincing. He's going to be more and more sharp in that Bible. Because he knows that's what's holding the people. How do I get the ones that don't know about me? I got to be on point with this Bible. He's going more and more to the scriptures. More and more Bible references. Go ahead.
Deceiving and being deceived.
Deceiving and being deceived. The ones that are deceived is why? Itching ears. Heaping to themselves teachers. The deceiver and the deceived is his. But with the Most High is wisdom. What are you seeking? Are you seeking the Lord or are you seeking Joel Osteen, T.D. Jakes, even T.D. Snakes? The dude can talk. That dude will get roused up. He get hyped. His voice get dry and raspy, and he get you in there, bro. It ain't like my voice. He got like a real talking voice. And you'll be in there with them, sweating and everything. Breathing heavy, about to have a heart attack. Right along with him.
God.
And he be bringing you to all, I'm telling you. But what you got to know about him, he's a seducer. Go ahead.
But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned.
That's what you got to know. I got to continue in what I've learned. We got to continue to not be deceived, to not be pulled to these teachers that when they bring these different ideas and doctrine and psalms and customs, to not be pulled into that. Go back to what you learned. I didn't learn about lunar Sabbaths. I learned about 7-day Sabbaths. That's what we all learned. So how do you do a lunar Sabbath then? Where did that come from? Oh, so you got to multiply 8 times 7, divided by 3, take this scripture, misunderstand it, mistranslate 3 words, and then that's how you get that. Oh, okay, that's what's up. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stick with Genesis chapter 2 and verse 2. I'm going to stick with the simplicity of Christ, where it said on the 7th day the Most High rested. Well, damn it, I'm going to rest too. I'm going to stick with Leviticus, Exodus, Deuteronomy, where he said on the 7th day, rest. On the 6th day, do your work. That's what I'm going to stick to. If I got to multiply by 8, take a scripture, mistranslate it, take some words from the dictionary, add it in, flip it, top it, put icing just to get a lunar, I'm good. I'm straight. I can't even tell you the names of the damn moon when it's in its phase. Except for full, half, and no. Oh, and crescent. But there's like double leaning solar moon, and there's Sailor Moon, and this moon. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
Hell no, I don't want to know about that. I want the simplicity in Christ. That's what I want. Well, those ain't French, is hot. Huh? Well, what is a fringe then? Because from my understanding, it was little strings that hung from your clothes to remind you of the 600 plus laws, right? Well, because they're too thick. Wait, what? Oh. Or they're too thin. That ain't blue eye.
You're not long enough.
That ain't blue eye. It said a border of blue. Well, it says violet. Wait, huh? Wait, so let's go. Because, what? Violet? Well, violet can be red, purple, like violet got different tones. It's just a tone spectrum. That's what violet is. You got violet, purple. Yeah, that's a spectrum of colors. Wait, let's go to the Hebrew. Oh, blue? Okay, so I'm gonna stick to that. I'm gonna stick to that. Right? He said what? Read it again.
But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned.
Yeah, I just learned to look words up. And not just go off one definition, but get 3 references. I like to get 5, just to be sure. I like to get 5. Like, look, I was taught to know that you know that you know, and look it up and make sure. 3, 4 different ways. Get 3 different confirmations. Well, no, I said scarlet. It says violet. Really? Well, because border of blue, and then you look up that word, and then that word in Hebrew means blue. Right? And then when you go to the Blue Letter Bible, the word is blue. When you go to the Greek Hebrew linear translation, that means blue. Numbers 1535, it says blue in all those. It doesn't say scarlet or violet. Border of blue. Right? I mean, it's about keeping it simple, but knowing what you've learned and what you've been taught. And again, some of us have been taught Christmas. So you got to be taught again that Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 1 overrules what you've been taught as Christmas or Easter. Well, it says Easter in the Bible. Well, okay. They weren't running around chasing bunnies and looking for Easter eggs. I guarantee you that. They wasn't coloring eggs, boiling them, coloring them, and hiding them in the temple. What the hell? Like, where was that at? Nah, they weren't doing that. Go ahead.
And has been assured of.
How are you assured? How are you assured of something? How do you know it works? Well, because you've seen it done and you get the result. You get the result and you say, oh yeah, that works. Or, oh damn, he tried that and failed, so I'm not going to try that. The assurance of the word is what? When you put it into play and the result in your life is a prosperous result. You're not supposed to apply the word and get cursed and damnation to your life. You know that, right? It's supposed to be the opposite. You're supposed to apply the word, and the goodness of the word and the joy and the peace and the love and the charity and the long suffering and the fruits of the spirit are supposed to grow around you. Not thorns, thistles, hate. Well, I've been reading this Bible and I just hate the white man. Huh? Where did you get that from? Damn, bro, where did you get? I'm trying to figure out where. I read the Bible and I love it. I love it all. I love everything that he's doing. Because I know what it's going to bring. I put this post on Facebook. Sometimes you got to just put a post out there. I said while y'all are praying for the world, I'm praying for monkeypox to hit hard. This monkeypox hopped on there like, and I hope your camp gets it first. Weirdo. I said, wow, thanks. And he said, see, I just put back what you said to everybody else. Don't feel good, does it? I said, bro, I only said wow because you called me a weirdo. You don't even know me. You just gonna call me names? Like, Dad, we don't even know each other. You called me a weirdo, like you don't even know me. I said, bro, and then you didn't even take what I said and you took a general statement and made it personal. You didn't say basically what I said, and he didn't respond after that. Shut his ass down because it just shows you where people's minds are. You talking about, because I know what I mean by praying for monkeypox. We pray for the destruction of this place by any means necessary, not for it to grow, build, and be prosperous. But when I put it out there like that, they're like, "Damn, what the hell is he talking about?" What does he talk? But I know what I mean. But then you get to see people's colors and true colors and where they're really at. What have they been assured of? I'm assured that the word is true. The Most High said it. 2 Ezra 16, right? The plagues have been sent out. No man can stay them. No man ain't gonna stop them. Woe to Egypt, woe to Asia, woe to Babylon. Plagues and destruction. Matthew 24, plagues, destruction, famine. You got babies dying. No formula. Barakatah Yahweh. Hell yeah. He said it was going to happen. I'm assured in the word that the word is true. So if babies got to die for me to believe, he said it. Slay utterly young and old. Right? Maids, children. So when a whole school of babies die, I'm not being insensitive, but I'm like, damn, the word of the Most High is true. He's not a respecter of persons. He don't look at things the way we look at them. He looks at the spirit of the individual, not the age. Not the little tender skin of a 10-year-old. He don't care about that. So me, I'm like, cool. I'm assured that the word is true, right? I'm assured, man. If babies gotta die, if little kittens gotta die. Kittens are so cute and cuddly, right?
Puppies.
Oh, that's puppies. Right? If puppies gotta die, hey, at least I know the Bible is true. And that's what I'm assured of, and that's all that matters. But people, what you got against puppies? What you got against children? Nothing. I got children of my own. I don't want them to die. But somebody's children gotta die. It says it in the Bible that children have to die. It says it in the Bible that right, it definitely says that. Right? It says that 2/3 of Israel is going to be cut off in that day. What y'all thought it was going to be a bunch of just grown-ass men? And just because they're cute, cuddly little children, that they're going to get taken up? No. Children are part of the... What y'all thought? They dying now. Don't y'all know that, like, that school up there that got supposedly shot up? That was a bunch of Issacharites. That was all damn Issachar getting cut off. The shooter was Issachar. That wasn't no white boy. That was Issachar. Shot his how you say grandma in Spanish? He shot Abuela right in the face. Shot Abuela. Bang! Right in the face. They said she might live. That's good. Right?
She got hit in the face?
She got hit in the face. And he tweeted about it. Just shot Granny, Abuela in the face. Right? It's cold. Then he went, I'm about to go shoot the school up. Shot up a bunch of little 10-year-old Issacharites. It sucked. The teachers were Issachar. Right? Or they at least, not all of them, but you know what I mean. And so it seemed like that was like a little Issacharite little city up there. What is it, Uvalde? Yeah, right up there by Fort Worth, right? Up in that? Oh, it's by San Antonio? Okay, damn, I looked at the map wrong. In between Austin. Something like that, right? I thought it was... Really? I thought it was more...
80 miles away from San Antonio to the west.
Damn.
Like if you going to San Antonio,
yeah,
and you pass San Antonio, you hit that town.
Yeah, I looked, damn, I must have looked at something wrong or stuff.
Going west.
I saw it like Fort Worth, but okay, totally wrong. But yeah, we know San Antonio got Issachar all day, right? But that town looked like it was more Issachar heavy. But the Bible is playing itself out. So I'm assured that, hey, just like the children should be assured, Most High ain't sparing you because you're young and tender. Right? He's holding everybody accountable. Like how he's holding women accountable. Not because you 5 feet, brown hair, brown eyes, you weigh 130 and your man loves you. No, he killed women. Women died. Women teachers died. Then the majority of the teachers that died were women. This is what I'm assured of. That the Most High says, I kill. I wound. I make alive and I heal. I'm assured in that. I've seen it. I've seen brothers with diseases and sisters with diseases. What? Apply wisdom. It's not the moldering plaster or the herb that healed them. but thy word that brought them to health. I've seen brothers apply the word, sisters apply the word, and what? Sickness come right up off them. I've done it myself. I'm assured in the word. Y'all see that? So let's hit the last point. Let's hit the last point.
So,
Last point is
what was this point?
This point was niggas in Israel. No. Basically, it was kind of just based off a question that she had asked.
Oh, this whole point.
Not the whole. The whole point was basically because of the lack of being tutored, these things happen. These teachers come in, right? And let's just go here real quick. 2 scriptures. The point is, knowing one thing does not qualify you to know everything. Like I've been saying, because you know how to use the wrench, don't mean, and take off the damn hubcaps on the car, don't mean you know how to fix the whole car. You got to learn each part of the vehicle. Just because you know Revelations, Christ is black, don't mean that now all of a sudden you know everything about the Bible and everything about being an Israelite, and you can teach others. So James 3:1. Like Christ is black don't mean you can have 7 ribs. That's not what that means, brothers. Why'd you do it? Because Christ is black. Damn. So we all should be in there then, right? But now I can break down Christ is black. Does he get 7? Right now? Noah can. The young boys can go through Christ is black. So all of a sudden now they qualify to have families at 8. Multiple ribs at 8. Come on now. Read James 3:1.
James 3 verse 1. My brethren, be not many masters.
Be not what?
Be not many masters.
Stop thinking you know every damn thing. Masters or teachers. Be not many teachers. Stop acting like you know everything. And because you know one thing don't mean that you know everything. Some of us are jack of all trades and masters of none. Right? Be not many masters. Go ahead.
Knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation.
Going right back to your question. The condemnation is because what? You're leading. You're a teacher. You rest in the law. You're teaching. What's going to happen when you lead people astray? Well, they're going to be held accountable, but so are you. So is the teacher. He's going to be held accountable. Go ahead.
Verse 2. For in many things we offend all.
That's it on that. Go to 2 Peter 3:15. And this is how you can kind of recognize it, man. You know, we always say it, Kazakia says it a lot. When you find a school, stick to that school. Stop bouncing from YouTube to YouTube to YouTube. You know why? Because what's going to happen is we're going to say something, and then someone else is going to say something to the contrary. It's bound to happen. Right? Now, I'm not saying that we always, that we're 100% on point with every single thing ever. We make mistakes. We misspeak sometimes. Right? But if I go through the book of Jonah and teach y'all about Jonah and Nineveh and Tarshish and those different things, and I say the ships of Tarshish came from this place, right? Off the coast, upper coast of Israel. And we can go through and prove it. Then somebody else comes along and says, Tarshish wasn't real. See? Go to Wikipedia. Unknown. And you're like, oh my God! Quantum's up line! There's no Tarshish. So there must not be no Nineveh.
Allegory.
Damn, wait a minute. So there might have not been a fish.
Right.
Then they're like, well, yeah, see, because all that was allegoric. It was all symbolism for something. He was just in a big house.
Right.
He was just swallowed up in his own thoughts. And we're like, no, because when you go to Tobit, it tells you that there was a fish big enough to swallow a man because it almost swallowed Tobit and Raphael. And you're like, what? They said. Now we got a problem, right? Now we got an issue because now it's they said and we said.
Right.
Right? But that ain't my issue. We told you not to do it. Don't listen to everybody. Stick to a teacher. And you know what's funny about that? Every school will tell you that. I've heard IUIC say it. I've heard ISUBK say it. I've heard every leader that teaches on. They're like, listen, if you're gonna watch us. Get off YouTube. We say it. Why? Because there's gonna be bound. You're gonna be bound to be confused and tossed with every wind of doctrine. But how are you able to decipher? How are you able to wrestle yourself out of the snares of being led the wrong way? Well, let's read.
2 Peter chapter 3, verse 15.
Go ahead.
And account that the long suffering of our Lord is salvation.
Go ahead.
Even as our beloved brother Paul, also according to the wisdom given unto him,
Right?
hath written unto you.
Because what did Paul write? All the majority of the New Testament, right? He wrote all this wisdom given to him from Yahweh Shah. Go ahead.
Verse 16. As also in all his epistles.
Go ahead.
Speaking in them of these things.
And what were some of the things he spoke? Well, he spoke, sit your ass down and be tutored. You Galatians. Did he write that? Sit your ass down and have tutors and governors. So when a man is like, I don't need no man to teach me. The Spirit is going to show it to me. Read.
In which are some things hard to be understood.
It's like, wait a minute. Hold up. Hold up. I know I don't get Romans 6, 7, 8, 9. Huh? Sounds like he's doing away with the law, so I'm going to teach that. And then you hear that, you should be like, wait a minute. The law, done away with it in Matthew 5, 17. Go back to Galatians, go here, go there. All these other precepts. The law's done away with. Peter denying in the vision, eating bad food, unlawful food, what's sold in the shambles, right? The shambles were Hebrew markets, so we already didn't even serve pork in the Hebrew market. Like all these different things. But these teachers are like, see, yeah, Paul did away with the law. They stumbled at the hard things because it got confusing. Go ahead.
Which they that are unlearned.
Wait, who?
Which they that are unlearned.
Why are they unlearned? They didn't allow themselves to be disciplined enough to be taught. So they stumble at the hard things. Why? Because they don't have the discipline to go through and read it 100 times. You know how many times I had to read Hebrews 5, 9, 10? Even just the other day when you asked that question in Hebrews or about the law, I had to go back and I let Hebrews play in like 18 translations just to make sure I had it and I read it 50,000 times. I just sat there all day like, oh, Hebrews 9, 10, Hebrews 9, 10, Hebrews 9, 10. Different translations. Hebrews 9, 10. Back to the King James. Hebrews 9, 10. Audio Bible. Ask the kids. They were tired of hearing it. They were like, God damn. Just these 2 chapters? Yep. Because the discipline, I had to sit there and let that thing rest in my spirit. I go to Hebrews 9 and 10 and rip through that now. Easier. Why? Because I allow myself the discipline to be taught. Go ahead.
And unstable rest, as they do also the other scriptures.
See that? Because what's going to happen is when the law is done away with, then everything else is now up for debate in this person's mind. And if you're watching that and you are not rooted, guess what? It's going to be up to debate for you also. Now you're going to debate with us. Well, they said that Paul had said. Okay, well, let's look at what Paul said. Let's read it. Paul said the law ain't done away with. Right? Paul said the law ain't done away with. How do we know? Well, we can go to many different examples. Right? He said it was in Corinthians 5 where he said a man taking another man's wife. Right? He said that wasn't even named amongst the Gentiles. What was he pointing out? Adultery. He was pointing out adultery there, so if Paul was saying the law was done away with, why would he check it? Why would he go in on it? And that's one point, right? We could go through all these different things and point out, without going to Romans, what Paul was on. But if they stumble in Romans, they stumble in Hebrews, they stumble in Galatians, guess what? More than likely, they'll stumble in everything else. They stumble in Corinthians, they're going to stumble in everything else. And that's how you're able to That's how you should be able to point out. When they start coming with, you should pack it up. Because there's going to be a lot more things that they're going to bring to you that's going to be stumbling blocks for you. There's ways to recognize it. Just like in church, right? Just like in church, when they start coming with weird stuff like locking the doors to collect offering, putting the ATM in the lobby, ATM in the thing, ATM and stuff just start happening. You're like, this don't align with my soul. What did you start doing? You start backing out and you're like, oh damn, that didn't make sense. See, that was the kicker right there. Because he was committing adultery the whole time. Right? When those things come out, you're like, oh, you can backtrack to certain instances. You can't get locked up, but the whole time he was talking about pedophilia is lawful and things like that. You're like, oh, okay, so you stumbled in Deuteronomy. Or rape is lawful. Oh, you stumbled in Deuteronomy. So now you stumble in all these other things. I mean, right? So if you're one of those brothers, sisters that you're watching 1,000 different schools, then you got to stop it because you're gonna hurt yourself. And the things that you're being taught here, they're gonna come into question because not that we're wrong, not that somebody else is wrong, but now there's a difference in ideas of what's going on with the scriptures. You see that? If we're teaching you that Jonah wasn't allegoric, but that somebody else is, I mean, that's a big discrepancy. If we teach you that Yahweh turned water into wine and the Bible says it was a miracle, but then another person is saying, oh, there was no such thing as miracles. It's like, well, it says that was his first miracle. What do you do with that? How do you argue that? Right? Confusion. So, that's it on that. Any questions? I know we went long. We went 15 minutes over. We started late. Yeah, man. Hopefully that didn't gender up stripes and vain jangling and questions. But hopefully there was some edification. And for you brothers that want to be teachers. Yeah, hopefully ain't nobody swerving up in here. Getting tossed to and fro. For y'all that want to be teachers, what's the proper method? Sit down and be taught. Sit down and be taught. Put yourself under the tutelage. Be willing. Be willing to put yourself in the fetters of wisdom. And that there's a lot that entails, right? There's a lot of discipline in that as we went over. But the first part is that there's first a willing mind. Then the Most High will accept you. He'll accept what you have to offer at the moment, and he'll build upon what you don't have. He'll build it. He said he make all things sufficient, right? If you try to do a good work, he'll make he'll have the grace to work on your faith, to work with your faith, and everything else will come. But you have to be willing. You got to be willing to hear. You got to be willing to be told about yourself. Y'all get that? Sisters, same thing. Who got their hand up? So high, yeah.
Just real quick, what is that scripture about you will set pastors over you or
you will see your teachers? You said your teacher was about to be hidden in the corner, that one? No. Probably not. Oh, pastors, yeah. Pastors according to my heart. Jeremiah 3:15. Jeremiah 3:15, I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Yeah. But remember, knowledge puffeth up. So you got many people out there that can give you knowledge. But are they going to be charitable enough to hold back something? Like, think about it. How much revelations y'all got? That's my point. You got a few chapters. You got a few light chapters, right? What are we at? Revelation 6? Barely? We haven't even started yet, right? But think about it. Y'all been here how long? 3 years? Y'all been here for years and barely just now start getting some revelations. Just now tapping into Genesis 1, 2, 3, right? Why? Because is it needed? Nah, it's knowledge. It's knowledge, but the charity is going to edify. Right? You start getting revelations all of a sudden, nobody can tell you nothing because you up there with John. You in the spirit with John all of a sudden. So why do we hold certain things back from brothers and sisters? Not because we don't like you, not because you're not smart, not because you're not needed, but some things, all things are lawful, not all things are expedient. All right. So with that, unless anybody else got something. No? All right, with that, we thank everyone for joining us. We're going to say shalom.
Shalom.
Oh.